Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Thursday, and today we have some news to talk about. And surprisingly, maybe not surprisingly, it is more Scream-oriented news. Scream 7 is the gift that keeps on giving right now, so we've got to talk about the latest information, so let's jump right into it. Okay, so we've got to talk a little bit about Scream 7 again because, as you know, it just started to film. Well, we've already got some set photos. Namely, there is a set photo that shows a location that has sparked all sorts of interest, people debating whether or not this is going to be the spot of the first opening part of the movie. You know, that opening scene that's become so famous in a lot of Scream movies. Well, and here's the interesting part of it is that according to these insiders who have talked about this location, Mason Gooding and Celeste O'Connor are filming scenes in this location. Now, that's something that is very much newsworthy because it tells us that something's going on with those two characters at this location, and that is intriguing. Now, the other rumor that started this week is once more people talking about whether or not Kincaid is going to be in the movie. And the thing of it is, that may not be true yet. But we're going to break down everything that we know, and I'm going to let you know what I think about this information, and I'm going to try to give you guys information that is relatively dependable, because some of what's going on out there isn't very dependable. They're telling you that this location is going to be the opening kill and so forth. And that's something that we don't know. So let's get into our first order of business. And our first order of business talks about how, according to a couple people, Mark Kincaid is back in this movie. Well, the actor hasn't signed on to do that yet. Patrick Dempsey hasn't signed on to be in Scream 7 yet. Now, this doesn't mean that he's not going to show up in the movie. It just means that they haven't announced he's in it yet. Everyone fully expects that he's going to show up. I actually fully expect that, based on everything we know about the storyline so far, that it's inevitable that Kincaid will be in the movie. Now, whether or not he is actually in the movie or whether or not they mention him and he just doesn't show up, he will be a relatively important part of this movie. So hopefully, that means that he is in it, even if this is in a small capacity. Now, there are some people that still debate whether or not he is part of the opening kill, and this may entirely be true. I've actually thought about that as a possibility myself, because if he is the opening kill, then this really does hit home for Sidney Prescott. This becomes very much that catalyst to drive her through the movie. And it also puts the stakes much higher than we've ever seen them before. Because sure, we've seen in the past that Sidney Prescott's friends are being targeted, but in this case, it's not her friends. This movie has stated that Ghostface is going after her family. So we know that the stakes are already very much higher. So what if that opening kill is a family member? We've actually debated that if the daughter of Sidney Prescott is played by McKenna Grace, that would be the opening kill. But if McKenna Grace has signed on to be in several of these movies and we just aren't quite aware of it yet, then the opening kill could in fact be Kincaid. He could be the opening kill, and this would also free up Patrick Dempsey because he probably has some other work to do. He has a sequel to the Thanksgiving movie that he was in previously that is going to be getting done soon. I mean, they are going to start filming that eventually, and I don't know what their filming schedule looks like for that movie, but it has been confirmed that he will be coming back for that, I believe. So with that, if those rumors are true and he's supposed to be coming back for that, then we can expect that he will not be able to be in this movie very long if the scheduling has a conflict. Now, if it doesn't, then he's liable to be in this movie for much longer than we think. Now, someone who isn't scheduled to be in this movie for longer than we think is Mason Gooding. And this is important because he has scenes with Celeste O'Connor, and apparently they are in this location, this restaurant that we don't know quite what it is yet. The name, of course, has been blurred out. Now, this raises all sorts of questions because a lot of people think that because it has these two in it, and they're not scheduled to be in the movie very long, that they could be the opening kill, that this could be the beginning of the movie. And that's very much a plausible thing. Sure, it is. But how plausible is it? Well, that depends. Are they starting to film this movie in some kind of order? Are they starting with the opening kill? That isn't always necessarily the way movies are shot. Movies are oftentimes shot out of order. So to say that they are starting the film off with these two in this location doesn't necessarily tell us anything. It doesn't tell us that this is the opening scene of the movie or not. And that's what I wanted to address with you guys, because saying that Patrick Dempsey has been cast in the movie when he hasn't been confirmed yet is sort of something that, yeah, everyone expects it, but it doesn't necessarily have to be true. And saying that these two are in this location because they are the opening kill and that's what they're going to be doing, that's not necessarily a truth either. We don't know until we know, until we get a confirmation as to what their scenes are, either by seeing the movie or through some other leak, which if there is another leak of that sort, I will not be addressing it on this channel because I don't address leaks that are going to spoil the movie for you without me telling you this is going to be a spoiler review. And that oftentimes would only come after the movie is done and we are doing its review. If I feel the need to do a complete spoiler review, then that's when we do that. But this doesn't mean what people are saying. This doesn't necessarily mean that this is the movie starting off and that these two are going to be the opening kill. It could very well happen at the end of the movie. They could be shooting the end of the movie first. This could be a scene at the end of the movie and they're just shooting it now because he's probably busy doing other projects. She could be busy doing other projects. They have a limited amount of time with them. They have a shooting schedule. It doesn't necessarily have to go in that specific order. And with that, they now have an opportunity to film these scenes and get them done. So of course, they want to take the opportunity when the actors are available to do what they have to do. And that doesn't mean it's the opening scene. Now, a lot of people are saying that it is, and it's possible it is. But I want to play devil's advocate. I want to let you guys know that movies aren't always shot in chronological order. They aren't always shot in the order that you're going to see them. First scene isn't always shot first. The last scene isn't always shot last. What happens is that they film the scenes out of order. They film them and they have certain filming days for each scene. That's just the way it seems to work. Now, there are some movies that I've heard about that film completely in the order that you see them. And usually those types of films are very rare. Now, it's interesting because this scene showing this restaurant and the name of the restaurant is blurred out. And all we got is these set photos from this restaurant. It looks very interesting, but we don't know what's going on there. There is also the fact that it says that it is being shot in Atlanta, Georgia. Now, this means that they are shooting in a place where, yeah, people could come by and take photos and they could actually post these photos online. So there will be leaks coming out about this movie. There will be photos leaked out, on-set photos, and that's okay. That will be fun for everyone to contemplate about how that fits into the movie. You also have the fact, and I heard some people bring this up, and I think this is very interesting. You have the fact that they were filming on week 1 a chase scene. And you see Ghostface running. Now, this could be a chase scene involving Celeste O'Connor and Mason Gooding. Of course it could be. And it probably is. If it's shot within the first week and their filming schedule is for that first week, it's probably something to do with them. But it doesn't necessarily mean anything else. And then you have the other interesting thing, people are talking, and I've heard people talking, that this could be a setup. And I like this. This could be a setup, sort of a end of the movie event that brings us into the Kirby movie. Because there is a Kirby project in the works. Either it's going to be a movie or a series, and either way, that's going to be something that's interesting. Because Kirby is a character everyone kind of wanted to see come back. There are people that do hope that Kirby shows up in this movie. But there's people that hope that Stu shows up in this movie. So you have a lot of characters that could return. And with this being the movie that sort of takes us back to Sidney Prescott, and with it kind of seeming to be on the anniversary or around the anniversary of the original killings, there is the possibility that we'll get to see legacy characters return in some capacity anyway, other characters. Now, that's cool. But, with this could be a setup to where Kirby and Mason's character are meeting up. That's right. What if Chad is meeting up with Kirby? That would be very interesting. And I heard some people talking about that as a possibility, and I really do think that that could be a thing. That would be cool, because I think they said that Kirby is in fact in Atlanta, Georgia. That's where she started off. That's where she is currently. So that's kind of odd that she's in the same place as Sidney Prescott and in the same place as Chad. Could it be that she's in the movie? And we just haven't gotten that confirmation either. There is a whole lot to talk about for this movie, and I enjoy the fact that we're getting these leaks, but take them all with a grain of salt, because we really don't have the details that are needed to really determine whether or not what we're being told is 1,000% true yet. Some of the leakers are very creditable, and they do oftentimes get things right. And so we tend to run with the things that they're taking and telling us, but I just want to be very upfront with you and say that take this with a grain of salt, but be excited about this possibility. Be excited about the possible return of Kincaid. Be very excited about this being the opening kill or whatever with Mason Gooding and Celeste O'Connor, and be very excited about whatever this location is and the chase scene that's happening, because this is all very cool stuff. It's just a matter of context, and is it what people are thinking it is? And we won't know until the movie comes out. But that is where I am going to leave it off to you guys. I want to know what you guys are thinking about this. Do you like the idea of this opening scene being in a restaurant, if that is the opening scene? What do you think the context of this is? Do you think that there is a hidden cameo that we don't know, maybe by Kirby, and they are meeting with her? Do you think that we're going to get Kincaid back? Or do you think that we will just get a mention of him and he'll just appear off screen? Who do you think the opening kill will be this time? As always, we want to hear from you guys. Make sure you are leaving us that comment in the comment box below, letting us know what you think. Also, don't forget to share this video with all of your friends. They're going to want to be a part of this crazy conversation we're having. And then make sure you hit that like button. It's free, it helps the channel, and we really do appreciate it. Miko says we need more subscribers. And look at this face, you don't want to disappoint Miko. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell while you're down there so you don't miss a single video we do. And then friends, at the end of the day, I know it, you know it, and Miko knows it. Fandom is family.